Entara Tesla, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kylaris, and today I'm going to be bringing you a quick tutorial on something that is absolutely ridiculous. This is going to be a PvP strategy, and genuinely, once you've done this and tried this out, you're never going to want to go back, and I'm not joking because it's insane. Don't spread this around too much, although that being said, it's going to be on YouTube, so I suppose it'll get spread around a bit. But yeah, this is going to be as I say, a PvP tutorial. It doesn't matter what map you're on, so regardless of if this is Steps of War or anything like we're on here, it doesn't really matter. And I want to start out by first saying this isn't that effective against 4-gate. So I know 4-gate is quite popular in the lower levels or whatever and places like that, but don't if you see your opponent going 4-gate, I wouldn't recommend this, but for everything else it's really strong. Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is opening the production tab, and as you can see, I've thrown down a pylon, a very normal time, and I'm going to be just chrono boosting out a few probes. Once I get to about 12 or 13 supply, we're going to be wanting to throw down that gateway. Here comes that probe. We're going to be throwing down that gateway very soon. Although, that being said, he's going to be trailing this probe, who's doing a bit of rallying around, and yeah, going to be throwing that gateway down at around 13. And this is such an interesting tactic, and I really love this tactic. I'm not even supposed to be... Oh Christ, what's with the frame lag? Should be okay. I'm not even sure that I'm supposed to be sharing this with you guys, but actually I'm going to fix this frame lag. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, just fixed that. And yeah, so I'm not entirely sure I should be sharing this with you. Somebody might get mad, but it doesn't matter too much. I'll just apologise to them later and they'll be happy and all nice. But yeah, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be grabbing a gateway, a robo bay, and a stargate. How awesome is that, yeah? And you think to yourself, well, that's a bit diverse for my liking, maybe I'll just stick to what I normally do, but genuinely try this out. Oh my god, it's so awesome. So I've got a gas at a pretty normal time here, going to be throwing 3 guys into that as quickly as possible. Looking back at this game in particular, maybe I could have got a second gas a little bit earlier, because it is quite a gas heavy build. I'm going to be throwing that cybernetics core down at a very normal time once again, about 18 supply. You can throw it down a little later if you so choose, but don't worry too much. And as you can see, I'm in the base of Felbane, having a little bit of a scout around, noticing that he's not doing anything too strange. He's just getting that first zealot out, which is very normal for when you're getting that cybernetics core. And I'm also getting that first zealot out in order just to be able to make sure I can fend off anything my opponent does. So I am getting that second gas now. Again, a little bit late. Probably should have got it a little bit earlier. You can probably get around the 20 mark. Or even earlier than that, in fact, if you really want to kind of push out with this really fast. So yeah, we're going to be, as I say, grabbing that at 20, and cybernetics core is finished. Just going to be pumping out a zealot and a stalker in order to be able to fend off any kind of early aggression that is going to be coming our way. And again, just following this program, making sure he's not doing anything too strange. And I'm going to get this zealot in position as I realise that this guy's on a specific rally, and then my opponent did actually take him away. So, throwing down a pylon, just making sure I'm not getting myself too psylocked, and again, just continuing to produce units out of that gateway at the beginning. Now I'm actually going to be saving up in order to be able to get my robo bay pretty soon, I think. Am I getting my robo bay? I did get slightly psylocked, but it's not too much of a problem. And going to be getting a robo bay anytime soon. Please get your robo bay. But generally, what you're wanting to do is get your robo bay around 28, 30 mark or whatever. Letting my money pile up here. What the hell's going on? Get the robo bay. There we go. The robo bay has gone down, and also in retrospect, you really need to. You want to get a second gateway around the 30 mark. So I've thrown down another pylon there, but you really want to get again another robo bay. Another gateway around the 30 mark. So you've got like a 2-gate robo setup kind of going on in the initial stages of the game. That 2-gate robo setup will pretty much be able to fend off most things. As I said before, it's not massively great in this build against 4-gate, because you'll be saving up for another building later on, and that is the Stargate, which has gone down there. This Stargate can come a little bit later, but if you want to get it early, there's nothing wrong with that. It's pretty cool, it's pretty calm, don't worry about it. And we do have warp gate technology researched as well, so I'm just waiting for that sentry to come out so I can then change it into a warp gate. And as you can see, I'm going to be grabbing my first Immortal here. And pretty much the strategy from this point on is, in essence, 2-gate, robo bay, stargate on one base. And after your first push, if you make a push with the units, the composition that does come out here at this point, then you can expand off that first push. So I did see his probe coming up, and I'm going to be taking that out quickly. But the basic unit composition is gateway units, a few Immortals, and a few Void Rays. And now you're thinking, that's probably a really strange combination, but here is the beauty of it. What you can do with this is just so horrible. Unless your opponent is going mass Blink Stalker or something properly crazy. Well, it's not that crazy, but it is quite common, mass Blink Stalker. Mass Blink Stalker could potentially pose a problem in the early stages of this kind of strategy. But for the sake of argument in this strategy, he doesn't do mass Blink Stalker. And if somebody's going for a 3-gate expand in this instance, it's a really, really damn strong build, unless these force fields are absolutely perfect. And even if those force fields from your opponent are absolutely perfect, you can still use the Void Rays in order to be able to use, micro them back and forth in order to be able to actually do some damage. So at this point, as you can see, I did have this initial sentry out in order to be able to force field any kind of early pressure that did come along. A lot of energy saved up on that, so I can do quite a few force fields. I'm just going to, again, be pumping out these Immortals and Void Rays, using my gateways whenever I can as well, in order to be able to bolster my forces just a little bit. So what I like to do with this tactic is I like to push out with 4 Immortals and 3 Void Rays. Now, again, you're thinking that that's probably quite a while into the game, and it is. It's around 10 or 11 minutes into the game or whatever. But even if your opponent does do like a push-up, you can again force field the ramp, which is quite easy enough, like most Protoss tactics. And when you actually get to the battle, the push that's coming up, you will see how absolutely dominating this is. And I will explain that when we actually get there. So I do have my 3rd Immortal out now, just waiting for a Void Ray, and just going to be getting another Void Ray, clipping that a little bit, that Chrono Boost, but it doesn't matter too much. And this Void Ray is going to be coming out anytime soon once I actually have the initial proper gas in order to be able to create that. But as you can see here, got a really interesting composition of units, and that is one of the really, really tip-top things about this tactic. It's the fact that you can really make use of a wide range of Protoss arsenal without actually penalising yourself, which I think is just fantastic, because PvP is normally completely boring and ass, but this tactic really makes it shine, in my opinion. So, as you can see, we do have those 4 Immortals that are going to be... These Immortals during the battle are going to be the most microed unit in the force, and as you can see, my opponent does have a rather large force here. Nothing shameful about that force at all. And even with this Robotics Bay coming out, I have seen replays of this tactic being used where it's been used against Colossi, and it's been so stupidly effective, and I will point out the following reasons very, very soon when we get there. So his Observer is coming over here, and he's going to be able to see everything that's going on, which is fine by me, I'm not too bothered. And as soon as that 3rd Void Ray did pop out, I'm going to be making my move. He does see that I am making the move out, so he's going to know that this is coming. Bear in mind that he does know that this is coming. And yeah, so as you can see here, going to be pushing forwards with this composition of units. And the key thing to note during this combat is I am not microing any units at all apart from the Immortals. The Immortals are here to take out as many Stalkers as possible. Once they take out the Stalkers, there is nothing apart from rubbish sentry damage to actually take out your... so as you can see, look, I'm controlling the Immortals only, just focus firing the sentries down, and once the Stalkers are down, once the Stalkers are down, there's nothing your opponent can do. It just completely face-rolled that battle there. A few units are a bit weak, but it's nothing they can do since these Void Rays are really high on health, and they just do a lot of damage. Velbane here is a bit bewildered as to what's happened, and as I say, you can expand off this, or you can even throw up a proxy pylon and warp in a few more units with the 2 gateways that you do have. You could continue Immortal production, you can continue Void Ray production, anything you want, and it just does a really good amount of damage. So thank you very much for watching this, guys. I hope you enjoyed this cast, and genuinely go and use this in your next PvP game if you see that they're not going 4-gate or some weird Korean 4-gate arsehole all-in thing, because this is really, really strong. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really like what you see, please donate in order to be able to get me my US account finally. So thank you very much, and I will see you guys next time.